Yo, what to do, everybody? Your favorite anti-hero, back with another video. For those who don't know me, I am the Pepperoni, and here, I don't typically like to throw shade, but I do enjoy sprinkling pepper. Because I care. This video is going to be pretty short and sweet. Little writing tip here for the writing community. I guess it's not really a writing tip, it's more like a talking and thinking tip. If you are an author and you write a story about a racist character, that doesn't make you racist. Period. If you are an author and you write a story about a murderer, that doesn't make you a murderer. Period. If you are an author and you write a story literally about Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, that doesn't make you a Nazi sympathizer, a fascist, whatever. It just makes you an author. I don't care if you write about bank robbers, child molesters, car thieves, drug smugglers, human smugglers, slave traders, genocidal, world leaders, evil scientists creating bioweapons to kill off the population or whatever. You, as the author, are none of those things. You are just an author. The problem is, the community of readers have this ridiculous mindset that if a character in a story represents or promotes or whatever something that is bad, then that says something about the author. Yeah, it says the author wanted to tell that story. I want to see a villain in a story who is actually villainous. Look, I really liked Heath Ledger's Joker, but at the same time, that's a problem. You're not supposed to like the villain. You understand? He's supposed to be the antagonizing force that you're rooting against. You're supposed to be cheering on the protagonist. And the antagonist is supposed to be in your way. You, as the reader, you're trying to live through the experiences of the main character. You're supposed to be kind of taking on that persona of the main character. And so the victories of the main character are supposed to be your victories. And the antagonist is supposed to be in their way, which by default is in your way. You're not supposed to cheer on the villain. And the best way to make a villain unlikable is to give them unlikable traits. So authors, don't be afraid to give your villain negative traits, negative characteristics. In fact, I encourage it. I want it in there. I want the story to have weight to it. I want to genuinely dislike the villain. In addition, sometimes, if you're writing a more intellectual story, it's good to make the audience really self-analyze their own worldview in the real world by giving the protagonist negative traits. Make your protagonist a sex trafficker who smuggles little children across borders to be sold into sex slavery, basically. And then frame it so that this person who normally would be seen as evil, show his humanity, show his upbringing, show why he's in this position. That would be a story unlike any other story that you've probably ever read or probably ever will read. And there will be many people who would dislike that story. But guess what? They would never forget it. And that's the point. People are so scared of offending somebody. People are so scared of crossing the line and getting out of the tiny little fucking bubble that this culture is constricting people's creativity into. And what is it doing? It's creating a fucking legion of unmemorable, forgettable garbage. All of it fucking cookie cutter, little walking on eggshells, politically correct, G-rated fucking shit. If you write a story about a sex trafficker, I'm not going to just assume that you, the author, are a sex trafficker or that you promote sex trafficking. You are just telling a fictional story. Some people would say, but wait a minute, it's wrong for you to humanize these people. You can't make people sympathize about a sex trafficker or make them sympathize about some neo-Nazi or some Southern Democrat who owned a bunch of slaves. You can't do that. You can't humanize those people. Why not? They are people. I love how people can pretend to be humanitarians and pretend to care about equality and the rights of other people. But then they just throw people into the wind because they think differently. Perhaps the world wouldn't be so violent if people thought the people they were attacking were just equal human beings. Instead of silencing people because they think differently, how about listening to them and figuring out why they think differently? When you silence someone, you push them underground and allow them to continue to think the thing that you think is bad. And then they're just going to, like a fungus, grow and spread. And more people that they talk to are going to catch that. They're going to pick up on it and embrace it. And it's just going to spread. You have to engage people. If people are talking, then they're not fighting. So give me the story about the racist guy just trying to live a normal life. And then let me see his worldview. Let me see why he thinks the way he does and how he interacts. Give me the story about the bigoted Muslim who can't tolerate the gay people and goes out and attacks the homosexuals and the trans people. I want to hear their story. I want to see why they are so hatred against these people. Give me the story about the sexist, CEO who goes out of her way to suppress her male coworkers and employees and pushes them out the door in exchange for the women so that they can move up to the higher positions. I want to know that story. I want to see their perspective. The bottom line is you are an author. You create pieces of fiction about fictional characters. And no matter what those characters say or do, or even promote, it's what they say. It's what they promote, not you. And if you're a reader, and you're reading a character saying or doing or promoting something that you personally disagree with, hate that character. Don't hate the author. Bye.